What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing this dreary? I am here, or we are here in One, Illinois.
I think it's Only. Only.
OLN. So
Alney. I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Only, One, however you want to say it, Illinois. Here at the Big Red Rooster Terminal. But yeah, this load has been a nightmare load. You know, when I talked to dispatch, when he dispatched it to me, I asked him before accepting it if it was a drop and hook on both ends, and the answer was yes. It was weekend dispatch. So I had delivered here before, and I remember that the last time I delivered here that I thought it was 2 o'clock. You couldn't get in before 2 o'clock, and but it was actually 1 o'clock. But my appointment was at 15:08 for yesterday, and remember I got this on Saturday morning, so I could have been here Saturday night, but chilled at the house. Let's stay the night at the house, and had a little over 3 hours to drive down here on Sunday morning. I rode out about 6 o'clock. Got down here about 10:30 and was turned away. So a little frustrated at that, but that is what it is. That's trucking. But went back at 1 o'clock. Um, was told that I could sit in the setup area, staging area, but I could not open my doors and break my seal until 14:40. So okay, that's fine. So then I got an overage, I got a shortage, and I had a claim I had to deal with. On top of when I went to get the load, it was heavy and they had to rework it, actually take two pallets off. So my thing is, that they take off, put on, I don't know. But so this is what we doing. We just sitting, we just waiting. I've actually messaged dispatch and told them that I'm ready to reload. I've got the washout. Um, actually, it was kind of funny because when claims came back and said, what, because this was initiated last night, the claim was, but Nestle does not work on weekends in their claim department, so they had to wait until Monday morning today to do that. So I guess about 9 o'clock, I got a message saying that donate it, make sure you get a receipt, and the closest one is Indianapolis. All right. So Heather had already been looking at some of the uh, nonprofits in the area, and there's a actual what, women abuse.
It was called Swan.
It's called
Stands for Stop Women Abuse Now.
Swan. Stop Women Abuse Now. So called them up, donated everything, 79 cases to them. Um, and it was just basically one pallet. And so we hand unloaded it, 79 cases, got it in, got it out, got the washout, and now we're sitting waiting to get reloaded.
Oh, you're so gracious saying we. I didn't unload.
Home of the White Squirrel,
You unloaded.
Jason Piper. I assume you're talking about the Illinois area that we're in is the home of the white squirrel.
This is Red Rooster.
Yeah, yeah.
Red.
But we actually got we went down last night after delivering and dealing with claims, knowing that we wasn't going to be able to do anything last night. We actually went down and found a parking area, got some tacos. Heather got a big burrito, and went actually next door and was talking to some folks, and just they were, the owner's daughter was there and just explaining to us the history because it had some old pictures of back in the 40s and stuff. So just a small, nice, quaint town. Super nice people. So
Except for the people that kicked us out of the lot.
yeah. So this morning, the so there was a vacant lot between the Hy-V's restaurant and the Mexican restaurant. And that's where we slept last night. And this morning she came in and knocked on the door and said, "My mom don't want any truckers to be here, so we just got them left." Came down here because when we left last night, the Red Rooster parking was full. Unaware now, unaware of Prime actually has a terminal that we can park at. Was not aware of that until this morning. That's where I got my washout, and I was asking the lady in there. I said, "So what's the deal with Prime here?" And she said that they actually rent an office, and they got I don't know, a dispatch or a couple of dispatchers there stationary, dispatching out of here at Illinois. So I thought that's pretty cool. Wasn't aware of that. So, but yeah, so we just sitting here chilling. I'm looking at my thing on my phone, and it's still showing that I'm dispatched on that load, which I'm not sure what's going on with that. So we had some issues before with see, it's still showing that I'm dispatched, and that's not the case. And it shows my PTA time, which is this time right here at 12:01, and I sent a macro 47 into to that basically says I'm ready to reload. I put in there the date, the time, because sometimes my app, especially doing a macro 4, leaving the receiver, which basically makes the dispatcher empty you out to be put your PTA, which is projected time availability, to being when you send in your macro 4. But now I've had instances in the past here within the last week or so where my macro 4 has not worked on my phone. And but when I messaged in several, an hour or two later and said, "Hey man, what's going on? I mean, I've been empty for X amount of hours," and they're saying that we never got your macro 4. So I was able to actually screenshot my macro 4 and sent it to my dispatch. Then just redid the macro 4 on the QC, the Qualcomm, to make sure that it goes out. So that's the reason why I did the macro 47 on the QC, just to make sure that they have, for documentation purposes, that I'm ready to reload. I mean, I'm ready at 9:21, not 10:0 or 12:01. So again, just following the proper channels to make sure that your butt's covered, and to make sure that if somebody says, "Well, man, you didn't do this," and you can, because I found out, yeah, you can screenshot, you can do everything that you can do from the app, but 98% of the time the app is accurate and works flawlessly. But you've got that certain percentages that sometimes it just doesn't go through. Your service may be bad, or spotty, or whatever it may be. So just make sure that you're not just sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting and nothing happened, and they're saying they never received something. So that's the reason why I messaged them. They said they didn't receive it. I sent it back out through the QC to make sure that because when the bottom line is when they go back and you said you did this, and because dispatch can review, sorry guys, I got some hair or something on the screen. The dispatch can actually go through your QC and look and see what's been sent and what's not been sent. So they like, no, it hasn't been sent. So that's the reason why I screenshotted it, because I had done it from the app, which that's what I usually use 95% of the time is the app, as far as when I'm doing my macro threes and my everything macro 3, 4, 19, 26, which is the fuel stop, best directions. So I got 13 people in here, 4 thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that like button for me. Make sure you subscribe if you've not already done so, or hit the thumbs down button, whatever you want to do. But what's everybody doing this gloomy day? Is it raining, snowing, sun shining? What are we doing? It's cloudy, and it has been sprinkling. It's not sprinkling now, so that's what we doing. But the people at the nonprofit was super nice. Got us in, got us out, and so basically we had a assembly line system worked up where me and 2 other guys were basically carrying them. I don't know why Walmart did this, but Walmart left the pallet all the way up the front, and so we had to walk all the way back. And of course, it's -1, and they were the Hot Pockets, 79 cases. And so when one of the guys got in there, he had the rubber soles on his shoes, and they stuck. They literally, like, he tried to walk, and they pulled his shoe pulled out of his, or his feet pulled out of his shoes. So picking up a paper rose in Monroe, Ohio. Light rain here. Raining on 81. Sunny here in California. Jeff, it's always sunny in California. If it's not sunny in California, give it an hour or two, it will be. So I like Cali to a certain extent, because sometimes when I'm there for more than 3 or 4 days, I kind of get annoyed with the 55-mile-an-hour traffic. Well, we got some weather going on.
National Weather Service in St. Louis has issued a flood warning for the county.
Flood warning in St. Louis. So, like I said, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do so. And if you have not subscribed to my Instagram, make sure you do so as well, because I put some content on there that does not go on my YouTube, for simple reasons that for some reason I still cannot go live, even though I got over 1,000 subscribers. So I don't know what's going on. So a lot of times I'll go live in Instagram or on Instagram, and just for the simple fact is I can't do it on YouTube yet for whatever reason.
On your mobile Instagram.
On my mobile. Yeah. Well, I can go live because I'm on a computer right now. That's the reason why I can go live. But a lot of times I'll just do a spare of a moment live kind of deal where I'm able to do it from my phone versus getting my computer out. And that's the reason why I say that I do a lot of stuff on Instagram live versus the YouTube live. Right now, usually when I'm doing a live video on YouTube, as of right now, I really have to kind of be stationary, get out the computer and all that stuff. So it's not a big deal. It's just like I don't like getting out and setting up everything when I'm only in and out for maybe 2 or 3, 5 minutes. With the computer, usually 30 minutes to 60 minutes is what I typically do. but just wanted to kind of jump on here and let you know what was going on, because this entire load, for the amount of time and the amount of pay, um, and like I said, you can't spill it over or cry over spilled milk. But in my opinion, if you ask somebody if it's a drop and hook on both sides, and they clearly say, yeah, okay, it was a mistake. Okay, well, then this happens. It's just like a smack in the face, because really should have been emptied yesterday, getting on another load and running. But yeah.
I don't think you told them that Nestle wasn't open during the weekend, so that's the reason why we were stuck.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the claims, that's the reason why we were stuck here last night, is because the claims at Nestle was not available on the weekend. And that's the reason why we had to wait till this morning to hear back from the claims to basically tell me what to do with it. Either toss it, donate it, whatever. And so we had a spot already picked out. Heather had a spot already picked out. That was a nonprofit, the Swan, Stop Women Abuse Now.
Uh-huh.
Stop Women Abuse Now. So.
And it was like literally quarter a mile.
Yeah, it was a quarter of a mile down the road, and let me remind you that they said, claims said, and this is not on claims or whatever, it's maybe just what they have. What the closest nonprofit, it had to be a nonprofit because we had to have a receipt for the claim and everything. So the closest nonprofit that claims had that they were trying to send me to was Indianapolis. That's a pretty good distance away. It gets you in a good reload area, Indianapolis. Let's just be real. It gets you in a good reload area, but I will probably be going and getting a reload area. I would say probably. Did you ever get your money back, Clinton? That's 2 weeks ago. I did get a partial refund, and so out of the $1,285, I got $621.45, and I messaged my road assist at that time when I had Flash to see, what's the discrepancy of the $1,285 versus the $621, and I have not yet heard back from them yet. So, which is not uncommon, like when I talked with her the last time I talked with her, she swore to me that she had talked to me and told me this, and I was like, you never talked to me before. So I told her from that point on is, don't say you're talking to me, QC me, that way I can document everything, because it's a he said she said thing when they go over a phone. So to answer your question is partial. Hey, if I don't get anything else, I'd be like, all right, well, that sucks, but at least I got $600 back that I would have never got back if I had not been consistent on. So you're talking about, guys, this started on September 19th of 2019. So you're talking about almost 26 weeks, something like that. And in the beginning stages, it was 4 to 6 weeks. That's what they'll respond 4 to 6 weeks. And now, 26 weeks later, here we are. So it just shows you got to be consistent, guys, because ain't nobody just going to give you money, and out of sight, out of mind. And I get it, because what had happened is, in this situation, I'm the one that has to consistently call her, because when I message my road assist now, it goes to another individual that hadn't really, he knows about what's going on, because I've messaged him a couple of times and said, hey man, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. but I don't want to really, ruin his day or make him do stuff that it's not his problem. It's not his fault. It's not, his doings or whatever. So that's the reason why I've had to consistently just call her, follow up with her, and call her and call her and call her. Because when you do road,
again, he was eating this morning.
my wife ain't got a filter over here. Yeah.
You know you were thinking it too.
I didn't even see him.
He
No.
just worked over here, and I said, "Get on flip flops and shorts."
There's a guy eating this morning. I mean, it's only 10,
And he had 2 boxes.
2:29 here in the morning in Central Time, and
2:29, 10:29.
10. What's that?
What you said 2?
10:29 this morning is what time it is right now, Central Time. But there was a guy that was eating this morning, and now he just not came back out with 2 more boxes. And then Heather said, "Dang, he's eating again." So, sup, bud, music trucker, aka Bandit? Not much, man. We just sitting here waiting on a load, and I keep on just randomly checking to see if I've been moved off that load and emptied out, and I've still not.
I hope they send us to New Jersey so we can go to this pickle deli. They make sandwiches out of pickles.
She's wanting to go to New Jersey. Yeah, let her drive in New Jersey, and she'll see.
Elsie's.
I don't care about LZs or whatever.
You're being mean.
I'm not being mean. I just don't want to go to New Jersey. New Jersey's a freaking crap hole type places, junk. Yeah, I hate New Jersey. I don't mind running up to Syracuse, New York, the upper New York, but anywhere you going around New Jersey area, it's just it's not fun. It's not fun. New Jersey is a dirty place. It is, absolutely. It is a dirty, dirty place. That it is. Let me spin this around, guys. I'll show you a little bit of what we got going on here. We got the old Red Rooster, and we got old Glory up there. She's a flying. So that's what we got going on. You kind of see the cloudiness and everything. But I don't know. So I didn't have, the good thing is I didn't have to start my clock until I started it after I dropped that stuff off. Then I had to go get a washout. So going to get that washout, I had to go on duty. But Pennsylvania don't even want them coming in $48 tow. Yeah. I mean, Pennsylvania, anytime that I run up New York and Pennsylvania, and I was, look here, guys, send depart at 90. I sent my depart at 90 last night. So why are they wanting me to send it again? That's what I mean right there. That's exactly what I was meaning. So I'm going to do it from the QC here, the Qualcomm. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I'm having fun.
The part receiver, location receiver is 90. So bear with me, guys, while -1. $54. So this just shows you clearly what I was literally what I was talking about just a minute ago, that you do it from your phone, which I don't understand why they want me to do it again when I did it last night, but I guess they want to have on there that there's no claim on it at this point, since that fudge sickles. I didn't put everything up, so let me go through my sent documents because I got to figure out the weight, the pieces, and all that great stuff that Prime wants you to have. Which is, let me see right here what we got. So 40,000. So out of 40,293, 3720. That load made me overweight. And remember, I've picked up a load that was 46,800 pounds and did not have any issue with being overweight. So apologize, guys. I am typing in on the Qualcomm the Macro 4, which is basically leaving my 90. Even though technically I did this last night, they're asking me to do this again. Backdoor seal in. Bills signed by. We got to figure out who these bills are signed by.
I gotta go get my computer.
JBR, whoever that is, JB, and that's, I can't really read the exact. I can't. It's not legible, but when you scan everything in, they see what it is that you see. You were nose heavy, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it, it was yeah, definitely nose heavy. But when I could have maneuvered it around. So when I put it in the 12th hole and did it, I was 12. I don't remember the ticket or whatever, but I was like 12 120 on the steer, and I was like 34 2 300 on the tractor, and just a little over 34 on the trailer. So what I did was I had my fifth wheel up, and it put me over 13,000 on my steers. So I went back and slid it back. And for those that's watching as well, guys, when you're sliding your fifth wheel, let me know how do you do it, because like when I the way I was taught by Chad, and I mean, I don't know, we never actually had to do it while I was training, but I've had to do it probably 2 or 3 times since I've been a solo driver. And I was told to crank down your landing gear, and basically that's how you want to maneuver it. But I can tell you, you're going in and you can get whiplash, and it's not a pretty thing, because I mean it really jars. Yeah, that's typically what I do is when I'm measuring one hoe, 500 pounds. Yeah. So let me see now if I've been taking off this load here on me. Finally. Glory, hallelujah. I'm off, and now, but it still says that my PTA. Okay, so now it shows my PTA not at 921 like I did it before when I did my macro 48, 45, 42, whatever it was. What is it? Macro 47. I was totally wrong. Macro 47, which says ready to reload at blah, blah, blah. So now they've got my reload at 10:35, which is 3 minutes ago, which is basically the same time that I just now sent my macro 90 or macro 4 and leaving the 90. And technically, I left the 90 yesterday. It's called Welcome to the Real World. Live and learn. 10-4, good buddy. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Live and learn. That's what you got to do. And you got to live and learn and accept. I mean, because that's the thing about it as well, because you can live and learn it, but if you don't accept it, then you're going to be having a bad day and you're going to give everybody else a bad day. I can say that my pastor, I mean, he sent a message out this morning I thought was really, really good. Um, and this is, he sent several things out. Basically, he's a Marine or ex-Marine. I don't know if you're ex-Marine, but he's not in the military now. So, but we don't want to go into the whole Marine thing. Like, there's been a lot of Marine thing going on here that we don't want to go there. But he said, I'm trying to improve and thought this may help you. Will continue to. True power is setting back and observing things with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means someone else can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass. Warren Buffett. So, thought that read this morning that he sent out to his fleet. So, kudos to Sean. Sean's I think he's a really good fleet manager. I get frustrated every now and again with different stuff, especially weekend. But that's just that. It is what it is. Good morning, there, Trucker Life. Who's Trucker's Life? Where are you at today, this Trucker's Life? If you don't mind, what's going on, man? Not much, Jeffro. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs up if you would. Thumbs down. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you do so. And if you have not subscribed to my Instagram channel, make sure you do so as well. It's Rolling for Time, the same thing as this channel right here. Like I was talking about earlier, sometimes I put content on there that I don't put on YouTube because it does not allow me, YouTube does not allow me yet to go live on my mobile. And every time I go live, I have to jerk out my computer. So, Bobby G, I'm a rehire. First loadout didn't exist. Now I'm loaded. Appointments had to be reset, and I'm in a rush just to make the new ones. Hey, that's trucking, man. I mean, it sucks. Like yesterday when we were coming down here, we rode up on an accident on I-64 westbound, and right going over to from Indiana to the Illinois state line on that bridge. They were a family to the left of me, and they looked kind of, the woman looked kind of shuffled around or whatever. And we've been sitting there for probably, I don't know, I say a good 30 minutes. I mean, we were sitting in that thing for about 30 minutes yesterday, the traffic.
Probably longer, because they were saying, there goes my 30-minute break.
Yeah, people were talking about that ending their 30-minute break or whatever. So I had opened my door and let her know what was going on. And evidently there were a car, that a four-wheeler, that hydroplane, and there were several cars hit and several bumpers laying on the bridge. And so they had shut down both east and west bound, but they were headed to the airport. So that sucks. So things happen. Accidents happen. Life happens. And it's just got to make the best out of it and keep on trucking.
But the lady that was outside of her car was heading to the airport. That sucks.
That's what it's not saying.
No. Sorry.
Dang, like she's on like delay over here or something. I mean, like every time I say something, she'll say it again. And she's like, "Did you say this?" I'm like, "I just said that."
Sorry. I pay
Yeah.
better attention when I'm watching. Maybe I should turn it off.
I locked it up already. Sweet, thanks, Jeffro. Yeah, stuff happens. Crap happens for sure. Let me tell you what happened last night or yesterday. So the wife, he gets the big styrofoam cup, and this is actually a pretty support.
Where my hand was, and then
But
I caught
now
it.
this is what I would. Now I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but these I bought the minimizer. Basically, they're like the WeatherTech mats for this for the Freightliner, and I'm telling you, they wasn't cheap. They was $300. But guys, I mean, they are. Um, let me see if I can show them to you. So you can see they got those grooves in it. So they got those grooves, and nothing escapes it. So when she literally dumped a whole large one of these, it didn't go anywhere but the mat. It stayed right on the mat. She was able to wipe it up, boom, be done with it, and rock on.
I was testing the match.
She was testing the mat. She was saying she was hired by a minimizer to see if it really works. Hey, trucking along with Kersey. We are getting rain down here in Austin, and video keeps buffering. Is everybody else okay? I mean, like, is the video been all right? I know I buffered one time, but everything else has been really clear on my side. But sometimes it happens. A lot of people, that I would say probably one of the biggest things that I see about on the trucking keeps buffering for me too. It was buffering for me, but it stopped. So it may be just so I got 2 bars. Yeah, so I got 2 bars, and AT&T's who I use, but I'll do a video about this because I mean that's a big thing that a lot of people, and it's great for me, but it sucks for a lot of different people is because I've had this internet system that I used in here for several years before even coming into trucking, and basically uh, it's a router that actually has an Ethernet cord that you can plug into it. So it's not just a hotspot, but I used it at my home office when I did real estate. And when I came out on the road, but it just uses a SIM card for AT&T, and it only cost me $20 a month for unlimited. So a lot of people that spend $100 or whatever. I mean, let's just be real. If that didn't work the way it worked, I would be getting another alternative to make sure that I have internet, because internet's a huge part of trucking. Being able to have your sanity, from Roku and I do YouTube TV, so I'm able to use my YouTube TV on my TV, yeah, YouTube TV on my Roku TV, and watch it and stream it without any cords or anything. So that's nice. But we still haven't gotten anything. I cannot remember the last time I was here where I actually loaded out of. I'm thinking I went up to went over to Indiana. I'm not 100% on that. So search your notes. So I don't know if what you guys use for your notes, but when I when I scan all my documents, my bill of ladings, my trailer washouts, I mean anything that consists with work prime, they have their own system that they want you to use through their app of uploading all their documents. It's a super cool, super easy system, but I also for my records I use Evernote, and that's what I use for. Uh, so how do you get internet in the truck? So I use that router. That's what I was telling you a minute ago, Clinton. That router basically is my internet. It's like a hotspot, but it's not just a hotspot. It actually has a Ethernet plug that you can plug a cable in to your computer and to your like a regular router. But let's see. The last time I was here was October 13th. And that's when I went to load it out of here. So Evernote, I don't know if anybody has ever used it or whatever, but basically you can scan you can do your anything, attachments, scanning. You can do your notes. You can do a journal. It just basically is your anything that you want to remember or keep. Upload attachments. It has audio recordings that you can do audio recordings in there. For me, when I first started using Evernote was probably back in 2008, 2007, 2008. That's when the real estate market crashed. And I was dealing with a lot of foreclosures, short sales. So I was communicating with the customer and the banks a lot. So what I did is just for my records and just for my clients' records, when I would communicate with the bank to figure out, what's going on with the short sale, if they've got my documents and all this stuff, I would record all of our conversations through Evernote. And if they were ever a question, it may have been, an hour, 30, maybe 2 hours long. But I mean, just for the record that everything that I say that I was doing, it was getting done. So that's really when I started using the Evernote, and I've used it. For example, you can put tags in there. So anytime that I have a receipt that I want to keep, because let's just be honest, we lose them, we trash them, we forget them, we throw them away, whatever it may be. But at the end of the year, you're scrambling, you're going through your bank statements, you're doing this. Well, I know I bought this. So every time even a shower, when I go to Walmart and I buy stuff for the truck, after I finish, I take a picture of all my receipts and I have a folder that I keep it in there, and I've got it labeled OTR, what year. That way, when I go do my taxes, that I can just look in there and pull all the stuff on there, put them in an Excel spreadsheet, send them to my CPA. So, what?
CPAs. What are you gonna use
CPA.
the one in?
Yeah, no. Yeah, she's saying CPAs because I actually what is I can't remember the name of them now. They're in Springfield. They're with Prime and everything. But when my first year last year, I had them do everything as far as my settlements, and they absolutely did nothing. I mean, literally, like I would message them and I'd say, hey, because they would send every quarter they would send me a message saying your estimated tax you should send in is this, and I'd be like, okay, but did you get the receipts that I sent to you? Oh no, we can't. open third party stuff. And I was like, when were you going to tell me this? This is like, 6 months into it. So Abathus, that's what it is. So I dropping like a bad habit. But I would encourage you to make sure that whoever you're getting to do your taxes are familiar with trucking. And no, I doubt it. She won't drive a truck. She won't drive a truck. They say, "Are you eventually going to go team?" No,
Negative Ghost Rider.
she can't drive a car alone as a truck. But it was funny because last night
He
they
tries to tell me how to drive. Like, oh, this is how you would pull in.
so
training me.
last night there's a spot that was, so I parked here, and my wife was like, "You should have parked there. It had enough room," or whatever. And so when I was leaving this morning, to get to the spot that she would have been in, that she said to go in, it would have been a bad situation. I mean, it would have been like a Swift situation. It would have been like taking out some posts, maybe a stop sign, maybe a fire hydrant or whatever. So I was joking with her, and I said, you need to be a Swift driver because you be tearing some shit up.
I'm putting in my application for Swift.
She's putting in her application for Swift, she said. But yeah, it would have been a bad situation.
But you told me that there wasn't enough room to park behind the Bobtail.
Now
That's
she's
what
trying
you
to
initially
question or
told me.
whatever. But she's one of them people that wants to go to different places. Like when she gets on the truck with me, it's vacation for her because she's away from her job, and she's on vacation. And so when she comes on the truck with me, she's like, "Hey, well, let's go eat here." And that's fine if we have time and we can do this. But some of the things that she had to understand is 32-foot camper that we vacation on a lot, that we pulled through Texas and everywhere else, and we would stop different places, and to maneuver that in there versus this semi, she's just like, she don't understand that, hey, there's just no way for me to get in here and park in a safe manner without tearing up stuff. So she's like, you could have done this, we could have been here, we could have ate here. And it's just
you're lying.
She
is
lying.
lying. You were the one that picked out the places yesterday.
I'm just saying in general.
And what about the sagebrush? The time that I found the perfect
Now
spot,
she's
and I zoomed in on Google Earth, and I had it all mapped out.
So I want to team with my wife, but Prime seems iffy on that. If you don't do full team, David H is going through that now. I would just want to pull super single loads. I don't know. I don't know about Prime situation on that. I get what you're saying as far as fully running the team, the truck never stopping or whatever. But I mean, if you're going lease, the bottom line is, I don't see why. Now, if you were, I don't know, because I could see that being I don't know. I mean, that's a good thing, because I was told that when you're teaming, spouses, husband and wife, that one needs to be company, one needs to be lease, and that way that one can do the insurance and stuff like that and cover the other. There's no obvious reasons why you should be both leased, because you're both not going to be leasing different trucks or whatever. But being able to run as a full team and then be company, I can see them have some say so in that. But I always thought that they were okay with it. But I'm not sure. I don't really know any husband and wife teams at Prime,
Well, what's David H and Melissa?
but she don't have her thing.
Yeah, but she's a
That's what he was saying. He said that they're going through that now, being a full team. Are they going to have to always run their clock out like a full team? I mean, are they going to? So that's what he's saying.
We shall see.
But now, Married to the Miles, now they work for RST, and they put out good content on YouTube. Um, and it's a husband and wife team, but they work for RST. Excuse me, that pulls Prime Freight, but they do quite a bit of stuff, as far as I'm gonna say downtime. They run hard, but they play hard as well. Yeah, they said if she is running under Prime's authority, it has to be a full team.
Oh, heck no. I ain't driving no
Yeah.
20 hours a day.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's good info, I guess. But the bottom line is I would think that either they would accept or decline loads, and at that point, if they decline so many loads, what would be the ramification of it? I mean, because let's just be honest. I now went from Arizona to Michigan, and they gave me, I think, 4 days to get there, and it was 1,900 and almost 2,000 miles, and that's 4 days. Now that's 500 miles a day. Uh, but Chad and I would do 2,000 miles in 2 days. So I mean, I could definitely see you get that 2 day window right there. But I don't know. That's interesting that you have to run full teams. I mean, like I would venture to say that you'd really have to know how to work your clock, because for her, I don't think she would mind driving, um, you know, 5, 6, 8 hours, if that. But you got to drive enough where obviously the freight would get there, and I would be able to have a reset in the end to get my time back. Um, so I think that Nick and Carla, I don't know if probably a lot of people watch them as well. Nick and Carla, they do a lot of the 8-2 splits. So one of them will drive for 8 hours, then the other one will drive, then they'll take a 2 hour, then so they do that 8-2 splits, and it works out for them pretty good. My wife will drive, but I want some time together. And yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing about it, Jason. If you're going out here on full team, and you're bringing I mean, if you're leaving the lifestyle of your house to go on the road and do full teams, you definitely want that time together. Because the bottom line is, when you're doing full teams, you're sleeping while the other one's driving, and vice versa. I mean, yeah, you're together, but you're asleep. I mean, you're not together. So I could get that totally. Totally get that. It all depends on your dispatch. Some dispatch will let you do super solo loads. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is, what Prime will say, as long as you're delivering on time, I feel like, and not breaking policy rules, that, Prime's going to be Prime. But I think the biggest communication that you got to have is with your dispatcher. And if you and your dispatcher does not get along, he could obviously throw that up to Prime, and at that point cause problems for you. But if everything works out for you guys and him, I mean, I think it's a win-win situation. But definitely could be a little tricky situation.
Seems like one would have to prove themselves in order for the team to be them to be lenient on that rule.
Yeah, I mean, I think the bigger because how critical I am,
I was
and
sort
just
of joking.
and no, she's not, and how like I ain't gonna say I gotta, I'll tell you and do things. I think I'd be all right, but if like with Chad, it like there were certain things that I would do, and he would just be like, "Man, what I mean, like, where's your wheel going?" And that's the kind of person I would be after so long. I'd be like, just stop right now. Tell me, look at the situation. Where are you going to be at? And my patience may be a little short. And I'm to be honest with you, I'm not a very. I mean, like I can be patient, but after so many times of telling people to do something, I could see my attitude change. And she said that she wouldn't want me to train her for that reason because so at that point, if she went to a different trainer, which would be fine, she would have to go through the experience when she did her TNT phase of being a full team. I mean, let's just be honest with it. I mean, that's when you're going through your TNT phase, you're a full team, you're running hard. So if you don't make it in TNT, you ain't going to make it in trucking.
And maybe that's
It's different with training, I'm sure, with the team. Yeah. He said, I want to see how the situation was. I mean, sorry, it just now said it was buffering. So, is everybody good? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Thumbs up. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you see. Jeff Rowe, yes, I'm sorry I just not saw your question, but I do lease. Um, but what I was saying, I can see. Sweet. So what I was saying before it started buffering, let's just be honest and let's be real. Because you can watch videos on YouTube and see people doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Now, I'm not saying that prime people do that. I'm sure they do. I'm sure that other people do it as well. But, for example, uh, people driving on other people's times, their clocks. I mean, that's a big and that's a real issue, I think. But I mean, let's just be honest. Like we had to shut down, I think twice. It wasn't a bit. We didn't wasn't late or anything like that when I was training, but because when I got on Chad's truck, I got really sick because he kept that thing like a freaking meat locker, and it just messed me up. So I had to adapt to that. And I mean, I was out. I was taking cold medicine, and I would be sleeping. For about a day or two. It took me to get over it. Where did you get it at? It's AT&T if you're talking about the internet. But they don't do it anymore. That's what I was saying, that I was really lucky because I've had it for several years and was able to just literally unplug it from my wall at the house and bring it in my truck. And it's got the SIM card, the same SIM card that your phone has. So that's something that I'm just fortunate to have the AT&T internet versus other people having to go to other sources, a hotspot or whatever. Yeah, Jeff Rowe, let me tell you, freaking exactly. Sorry, it was buffering. But the way that Freightliner's trucks are, they have a vent on this side up here that literally just blows in your face. So what I had to do is I would literally put a sock, shirt, stuff it around it, then end up sleeping on the opposite end over here because that it was blowing constantly in my face, and it just made me sick. I mean, I'm not going to go into it if I'm going to be illegal. I want to know I can get somewhere and still have time together at some point. I mean, I don't know your income situation, Jason, but I mean, I think that if you live a modest life, that your wife could go on the truck with you, and you just run as a solo. Obviously you're going to make more money being a team, but you can also make good money being a solo driver, and that's something that I mean, if team doesn't work out for David H or whatever, and we can kind of see how that plays out. And if somebody doesn't want to be a full team, I mean, solo drivers can make pretty good money too, and still have time to do different things. Um, so that may be an option for you, but I don't know your financial situation. So that's something that you have to evaluate and see. All right, guys, I'm gonna get off here. It's been a little bit over an hour. Still have not got dispatched on a load yet, so I'm just chilling here waiting. Probably gonna go do me a little lunch, and kind of see what happens. But if you guys have not liked the channel, like the channel, subscribe to it. Make sure you go to Instagram, do that as well. Rolling for Time on Instagram, and I'll see you guys on the road. Y'all have a good one and be safe.